Here we are for episode 8 of Stream of Thought. And today, man, do we have just a very casual conversation going on. We start off with talking a little bit about...
I don't remember. I never remember the first thing that we talk about.
Basic things that we should,
right.
human beings should be able to do. Can you swim? Can you spell? I don't know.
Can you tie a knot?
Can you tie a knot? We didn't actually talk about that.
No, that was just mentioned like briefly with the survival skills type thing.
And then we transition a little bit into, what do we transition into?
High school, but not necessarily high school stories. It was, I don't remember again. Somehow we found our way like talking about high school age stuff, or also being kids.
Yeah, imagination. Because in the basic skills, it's like, have we lost something?
Riding bikes,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's really interesting because
and track. It was track. That's how we started talking about high school stuff. Talking about track,
the joy, the thrills and anxieties of being in the blocks before the gun goes off.
And then after that, it was
we sort of wrap up just talking about social totem poles and popularity.
But we only talk about that for like
mingling.
A heartbeat. Like we barely talk about it. But
yeah, it sticks out.
I don't even remember what was the last thing we were just talking about right now.
I don't know. We were.
It was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable.
If we were to describe
we
this
sound like
episode,
we sound like a bunch of jackasses.
We
just had a conversation.
No, in case they don't know, the intro is recorded after the episode. That's how you know what you're about to listen to. But this episode, to sum it up, it's a stroll through the park.
It's a stroll through the park.
Yeah, stroll through the park. Yes. So, episode number 88, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy. I almost forgot to do that.
I know. Yeah, so
tell me what's on your list.
Well, we started talking about it on the way over here, and I think I think it's kind of an interesting thing because for me, there are certain base things that every person should be able to do, and I fall short in that category in a couple of things. Like I can't swim. Like
really?
I know.
Are you serious?
I know, and that's the reaction that I get from everyone. Like there's this look of shock and disappointment in people's face. And I mean, I can like flail around and I can kind of swim, but I've never learned how to swim properly, and I can't float. And if you put me in a lake, I'll probably drown within the 5 minutes, as opposed to getting to a shore.
It's so easy
if you learned how to do it early. I've never been a very coordinated.
All you do with floating, you just keep your chin up. That's all you have to do.
Everyone tells me that.
That's all you do.
I just keep sinking. My legs keep sinking.
Make sure your lungs have air in them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Your legs can be below. Never mind.
The point is, yes, trust me. I have been coached in advice many times over the course of the past 20 years on how to properly do it. So you are probably the umpteenth person.
I can't believe you. That's all right. I
know. But again, it's one of those basic things that everyone should know how to do. Absolutely, I should know how to swim. And I look down on myself for not doing that. But don't you think that there are fundamental things that everyone
people should learn how to know how to spell?
Know how to spelling is one of those. It is remarkable. I mean, just especially with social media, and the fact that everyone's writing stuff.
Yeah.
Very few people are reading stuff. And if you're reading stuff, you're probably reading stuff on social media that's also misspelled. So that's not helping your
I was listening to the
brain.
Radio a few weeks ago, and they were talking about when responding to a text, like the DJs were talking about like what is an acceptable text to send if you're validating something, as like the word okay, the letters O and K, or just K. And they're like having this legitimate argument, like, no, like K, it's just like, I see it like, no, it's one letter. Why, that doesn't, that's not just spell, it's 4 letters long, just spell a word. Well, I don't see why we can't just say okay, it's pretty. So they're just like having this huge like dialogue.
With legitimate points.
On just like, what's the proper way to send?
Respond.
And then it's like, and then they're sending and then they're saying, well, if someone's telling me something, like, why would I say okay? Like, I received the message. It's not like they're asking me a question. It doesn't require a response. So they're just like really dissecting the just like how to respond to something, if it deserves a response, and if that response should be the word okay, the two letters put together, O and K, or just K. Or then they even like, and then a curveball got thrown. What about KK? And they're like, I don't. They're making like, I don't like KK.
I do KK.
It's too close to KKK. I don't want to make a mistake.
It always autocorrects to OK anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I think that there are no rules governing social media like slang usage or anything like that. So it's the Wild West. I mean, people just do what they want to, and they can have these philosophical conversations until there's a standard practice in place. But I just don't see that happening. And so the result is you get people type in almost incomprehensible sentences online, and it's unfortunate, really.
What are some other basic skills that you should have that you don't?
Other basic skills. What do you think? So I think swimming and reading are two basic skills that are very important.
Yeah. I think
I don't think driving is necessary. I don't think knowing how to drive is a basic skill. I wouldn't.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I know people. When I lived in New York, there were people who were like 50, 60 years old who had never driven.
Oh, okay. I was thinking in terms of, if you have a driver's license, you better know how to drive.
Oh,
you
yeah.
better
No,
not be a
I'm
dumbass
saying,
behind
like,
the wheel.
In regards to if you're going
you
to
just
drive,
never.
then yes, you should know how to drive. But generally speaking, I don't think it's a life skill that you need to know.
Yeah, skills that I don't have that I should.
Cooking.
That my
basic cooking.
That
skills.
my environment has not required of me is just like basic survival skills.
Yes.
How to start a fire.
Yes.
Tying knots.
The Boy Scouts.
Kind of.
Basic program. You never did Boy Scouts.
I did for like 2 years.
I never did Boy Scouts.
I wish I would have done it like longer. I just didn't. I don't know why.
I've heard it's a really valuable program for instilling survival skills.
Yeah.
How do you I don't even know what they teach there. Yeah, how to start a fire, how to maybe cook food.
I know how to put together a tent. Some people don't even know how to do that. It's just like basic. It's just
unless you've got instructions.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to make a makeshift tent, God help us.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. If there's a tent in a box, like I just put the shit together, I can figure it out. Like the type of tents.
You're so suburban.
The type of tents that you buy. Type of tents that you buy at like the Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, but not like one that you make in the wilderness, or like if someone just gave me some tarp, I'm like, I don't know really what to do with this.
Yeah, I think another important skill that we've just totally neglected in our society is public speaking. I think everyone should be able to communicate ideas to a group of people without feeling anxiety over the situation.
I agree.
And there is that difference between posting stuff on social media and actually like speaking in public. The thing that I hear over and over and over again from basically everyone, just because of my experience in the ministry and other public speaking related roles, everyone who gets up there for the first time always has this anxiety of, oh my God, like I don't know what's going to happen. And a little fear is good and all that, but when there are some people who the fear gets the better of them and they're unable to communicate ideas.
I cannot recall a time where I was anxious in front of a group of people, even in like school. I was totally fine.
You were always
speaking to a classroom. I don't think I've ever had that fear.
No, but you were. I mean, I would classify you more in the popular kids category, in the clique category than anything else. And the popular kids, especially in the Glen Ellen area, all knew how to talk to groups of people.
I disagree with that statement.
Okay, where would you classify yourself?
I would say in the totem pole, I'd say I shifted from. I shifted, I'd say, from freshman to senior year. I would say, like, freshman, sophomore year, I was in the middle of the totem pole. And then, like, junior year, senior year, it went up significantly.
I'm glad you're able to at least see that.
That was me thinking, like, wait, no, Rick's might be a little bit right.
Well, trust me, when you're lower on the totem pole and you're looking up at people, you're very aware of where the placement is. It's harder when you're at the top looking down at everyone to see where you are.
It's lonely at the top. Not everyone can be there.
Well, yeah, because I didn't really know you freshman and sophomore year.
But I'd say like when I was hanging out more and being more social, I didn't think of myself as like a popular kid.
Yeah, and I think that did differentiate you because we became friends. I was never friends with any of the popular kids who thought that they were popular kids. No one.
Yeah.
Like, they were not my type.
Yeah.
But the Cooper Johanssons, the Victor Marquezes, the Neil Batangs of the world, the ones who were popular without actually thinking that they were popular.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So for me, I was a clinger on, man. Back in high school.
Clinger on.
I was a clinger on.
Stage 5 clinger.
Well, no. I was very happy with my independence, and I was very, I knew my boundaries. I wasn't going to socialize with these people outside of school.
Yeah.
But in school, I tried to find just a little niche for survival's sake. Tyler Visco, Rusty Reichman, Alex Dean.
Yeah. Did
Safe Crew.
The Safe Crew?
Safe Crew, yeah.
Safe Crew, no risk, safe environment, nothing bad's
Tyler
gonna happen.
Visco could get a little brutal because
he was pretty fun. I played soccer with him.
He was hilarious. He
was a funny guy.
He did have a good heart. He was one of those people who was willing to descend down the totem pole for the sake of being a good person.
Now I'm trying to think of some high school stories. I don't want to spend time just sitting here thinking
there's so many. Well, I just my biggest memories I feel like came from track.
Yeah,
senior year probably with
that was
Uncle
a lot
Tony.
Of fun. Uncle Tony.
We as the 400 kids had our own little. We ran the 400 meter one lap around the track. And
it was cool that we had our own
12 people.
Yeah, that was cool that we had our own
us.
practices.
And we were the 400 kids were the athletes of the crew. They
were
put us in everything.
We were the special kids. Elite.
They put us in the 100, the 200, the 400, the 300 hurdles.
Well, there was that one race.
Jump,
there was a friendly exhibition that didn't count for anything, which is why I use the word exhibition at Glenbard South, and they moved everyone around. Like, they had some of the 800-meter runners and some of the 100 or 200-meter runners, try and do the 400, and then they had us do, I think, 1 or 2 800 and the 100, 200, and we did better than they did at their own event.
I remember the results being the 400 people were basically dominating everything. Yeah. I thought doing the 400, if anyone's ever going to do track in high school, I think the 400 is the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You work on speed and endurance. Yeah. And really, you get everything. And then do something like pole vault too. I wish I had learned how to do pole vault.
I tried pole vault one time junior year.
It looks so much fun.
But it's I could never get the pole to bend.
That would be one of the most exhilarating sports that I wish I could go back and
once
learn.
Bill started doing it, I think people were like, "Oh wait, we've got a pole vaulter." Because I think before we didn't really have anyone that was good at it. And I think he got to is by no means is this phenomenal, but I think he maybe got to 12 or 13 feet maybe.
Yeah, he was at junior year, he was on the senior team because there was it was who else? It was not Paul Dignan, but there was Ames, and Billy were the two pole vaulters.
I think
and we didn't have any seniors who were pole vaulting.
And then he also, I believe, during practices sometimes they had him help the girls do pole vaulting.
Yeah, that's right.
And the school also bought him his own pole.
I remember that. Yeah. Well, dude, if you are the only one who has at least a mediocre skill at it, you can be king of the mountain in so many different ways because you rule that sport then. And as a junior, if you're on the senior team, for the sake of no one else is around, you are the leader for that crew.
I remember, I don't know about you, but every time I would get in the blocks before a race, I would get so nervous.
My anxiety was off the chart. Even thinking about it right now, my adrenaline just spiked. And the tingling, my hands are sweating right now. Being down in the blocks when they say, on your mark, and then you're just
set, and then it's like,
and then the 3 seconds,
and
like
then
a 3 second wait,
waiting for the
just wait, and it stretches out for eternity.
Oh, I
in the
know.
blocks.
It takes forever for that gun to go off.
Because
and then pow, and then I'm running. I'm like, finally.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, the first leg, the first turn is brutal. I never liked the first turn.
Really? Because you can't. You're still in between that weird phase of like entering the energy of the race, leaving behind the anxiety, and then your brain is also like, okay, all right, the race has started now.
Yes.
I am running right now.
Once you get over that initial thing.
And then you're going down the stretch, and I'm like, don't run too fast, don't fuck this up, because you're gonna need some energy around the turn.
That final boost,
my favorite was the turn, the third turn. Well, I guess this whatever, and then the final stretch.
Yep. Final stretch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I never got though was a lot of high school.
It would have been the fourth turn.
Yeah, the final corner, coming out of the next
yeah.
stretch. The kids who didn't use blocks.
I never understood that.
Who would, like, why wouldn't you want that extra explosion of speed out if you're going that if you're running any speed near what should be a 400, you're going to need that boost
for sure
to launch you out.
Yeah,
I never understood that they would just get down, be in their regular position, just like an 800 runner or something like that. It's like you're not running an 800.
Yeah,
you're using every ounce of strength and energy in the next 60 seconds, hopefully.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Most other schools didn't use blocks. Like, I know when we would go visit other meets, most of their people
didn't have blocks.
Over half of them wouldn't use blocks.
That's so weird.
It is. But if they're not that fast, if they're running like a 73 second 400, then it doesn't really matter if you have blocks or not.
Yeah, I suppose if your 400 is over 1 minute, it doesn't matter.
Oh man, I struggled so much to get it under 1 minute, man.
Really?
I did. I was consistently under a minute senior year.
Like sure. 59 seconds, 58 seconds.
Yeah, 59, 58.
The very first time I did the 400 was when we still had our indoor season, and it was when we were juniors, and running around the track. Well, if you don't have a 200 meter, well, first of all, if you're running a 400, you need to have a 400 meter track if you're especially going around those turns.
Yeah.
And indoor, I think the
160.
It's 160, and there were only like one or two schools in our conference that had a 200 meter track.
Yeah, a couple of them had 200,
which helped. But that I hate indoor track sucked.
Indoor track was the worst.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so bad.
Indoor track sucked.
But
because you didn't have a full track.
Yeah.
And because it was weird being inside.
Oh, and hurdles were just a bitch and a half to try and run indoors. Like you need an outdoor track for hurdles, especially.
It's just out of your element. I feel like the same thing with arena football or like arena baseball. It's just
I've
weird.
never seen arena baseball.
Yeah, the domes.
Oh, you mean indoor baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like regular baseball, because I thought you were talking about like the sport arena football, which is a sport itself.
Yeah.
Like it's a condensed.
Yeah.
field.
It's different. Yeah,
but
you're right.
You're talking about
Indoor.
NFL stadiums indoors.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about especially back in the day before they had whatever it's called now, when it was just the AstroTurf. It was just a flat surface and not the
asphalt,
the fake grass. Because it's different if you're like in Indianapolis and the dome is closed. It still feels good because you have the little rubber and the fake grass. So it's like it adds the element of being outside, and you don't really think about it as much as opposed to back in the day when it would just be pretty much concrete with a thin layer of carpet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Big change.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and I hated playing at schools for football that had the AstroTurf fields.
Yeah.
Because they always injured you. I mean, you always had scrapes and bruises that you wouldn't have from playing on dirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's, the exhilaration, my friend.
But over time, it's less expensive to maintain. I
think it's a good skill to know how to run properly. I see so many people run funky ways. Like,
Really?
Their feet like are ducks, or their arms are like flopping all over the place and like out of time with their stride.
I think we talked about this before, but I'm gonna have to vent. I freaking hate when I'm driving in the road and some dumbass is running in the street. There is a sidewalk that you can run on.
Yeah.
There is a sidewalk.
Preach
the
it. Preach
only
it.
reason you should be in the street is if there is zero sidewalk and zero space on the side of the road for you to be running. That is the only reason. Get your ass out of the street. I'm going to hit you with my car.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot count. And as somebody who runs all the time outdoors on the streets, like not on the streets, on the sidewalks, there is no reason. The sidewalks exist for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Use them. You're a pedestrian. You're running. Use them. You don't need to use the street. I feel bad when coming down St. Charles Road. There's no sidewalk on either side.
Yeah.
So I'm forced to run in the street. Otherwise, I'm running in like.
What side of the street
gravel.
do you run on?
I always run on the side with the traffic coming towards me.
Good. That's the way you're supposed to.
You're always supposed to do that.
If you're on your feet, you're always supposed to be on
always
that side.
supposed to be facing oncoming traffic so that you know what's coming.
Yeah.
And so I found it's a pain in the ass, but it is so convenient because I never have to look behind me or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just look at coming. I just go off to the road for a little bit, jog to the side and then go back on the road.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's common courtesy, but I see so many runners around here, and I'm sure it's the case everywhere, who will run on the side that traffic is going in the same direction and run like 3 feet away from the curb without a shirt on and totally oblivious to their surroundings. We'll run through cross streets. We'll do
It makes
whatever.
me want to have someone in my car in the passenger seat so that when I drive by them, the passenger can open the door and we can hit them with the door while we're driving by, knock their ass down.
Oh man, it's just it's so rude. It is so rude.
So,
And I mean, we're two people who exercise on a regular basis. I feel like there's a common courtesy. If you're going to exercise on a regular basis, certain things you need to adhere to, like certain norms and decorums. I think that are important.
Yes.
Like wipe down your equipment after you're done. Like don't leave it drenched in sweat. That's gross and very rude. Don't run in the middle of the street and block traffic. That's very rude.
I hate when I'm driving and it's like it's a stretch of road and like somebody is pulled over to the side, and sometimes someone is talking to the person in the vehicle, and the person talking to the person in the vehicle will be on the driver's side in the street.
Yes.
And okay, that's fine, but you should be aware of your environment where if you see a car coming, I shouldn't have to slow down for you to move out of the way. Mm-hmm. Or for just to slow, like, get your ass out of the way because I'm driving by.
Yes. So, and I think that there are 3 types of people. There are people who think that they own the world or are just totally oblivious to everyone around them. Mm-hmm. There are people who are super defensive and, like, realize that everyone else owns the world and tries to be very reactive to that. And as a result, you get defensive drivers, you get people, like, who end up causing just as many problems as these aggressive people. Then you have people in the middle who realize there's people on both sides and just go with the flow. Like, be a part of working and functioning society and, like, just do what everyone else is doing in the terms of, like, social norms and, like, just basic respect things.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Like what you're saying right now. I know some of this we've talked about before, but I need
it's
to
a
vent.
real
Whenever I
pet
think
peeve.
about this,
I
I
mean,
have to vent again. I just hate, and it just drives me nuts whether you're turning into a driveway or any type of turn that you're making, and you come to a near stop right before making that turn. I turn into things pretty quickly. You don't have to turn. You don't have to make a 30-mile-an-hour turn, but just go into the turn. Go into the turn.
Yeah.
You do not need to come to a near stop in order to make a turn. You're fucking it up for everyone behind you.
Yeah, especially on a crowded street or whatever. You'll see something like that on, Roosevelt or something, where there's no center lane or something like that. There's a couple of roads where it really does block traffic. And our honky neighbors are still at it across the street.
Yeah.
My God.
I cannot wait. The weather's
day.
getting better, so we're definitely going to hang out in the gazebo just so I can hear some of them.
I mean, really. And it's really sporadic throughout the day. Normally it'll be 2 to 3 times a day. Once in the morning, once
And
at
it's
night,
just like,
and then sometime
and
during
it's
the
just,
day.
it's not like a dun dun. It's just like a laying on the horn, or just how describe it again?
Yeah, it's like a meh, meh, meh. and then 7 seconds of silence. They'll do it again.
Yeah. It's just it's obnoxious.
And then
it's
they'll do it
not
again.
like
And they'll do it three to 7 times until their kids come out of the house and get in the car.
I can't wait.
They'll just lay on the fucking horn.
I can't wait to walk over there and yell at
You're
them.
not gonna yell at them. I can't believe though that no one, because they'll do this at obscene hours too. They'll do this early in the morning. They'll do this late at night. I can't believe no one has talked to them about this.
You know what would be really funny? I don't have this skill. I saw a video on YouTube where this guy pulls a prank on his friend. They're driving. Anytime he applied the brakes, the horn in the car would get activated.
Yes, I saw that prank as well.
So instead of even doing anything, how great would it be if we knew someone like in the middle of the night, do some covert operation
To move the horn inward to the car.
just completely silence the horn so it's inactive.
Or to make it like a rubber ducky or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yep.
Or honk the horn and the thing explodes. Like a cartoon explosion.
Oh man. Yeah, so many options. Yep, but no, and I'm not a confrontational person. You're not a confrontational person.
Sometimes. It depends on what it is.
It depends, but I feel like you are a very polite young man. You do not, I don't know. Have you ever gotten into like a argument with a stranger back and forth? That's gone back and forth?
No, not with a stranger.
Yeah, I'm talking about just random people like who you encounter who have bad behavior.
No. The thing with me is that I've never I actually okay, so I'm very confrontational in my sometimes in my brain. I know exactly what I'd say to someone if they're being too slow or they're just in my way or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I have such almost no tolerance for people wasting my time in certain areas that if I were to go off on them, I were to just really just drill it. I would just, no mercy, just go 0 to 100 and call out their stupidity. So sometimes I usually have to tell myself, like, just don't do that. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
And then I'll catch myself in a similar situation where I'll be like, oh, wait, I'm being that asshole right now. Oops.
But you don't feel uneasy about it. It just happens when it happens. Like, but you're able to catch yourself, and you're just like,
I draw the line, especially when I'm driving, and I picture myself. What if I were to get out of this car, knock on their window, and start yelling at them? That's crossing the line. Just stay in the fucking car.
Wow, yeah. I'm glad that you have that self-awareness. That's great. Well, for me, I used to be pretty inappropriate with my confrontations.
Really?
I did not deal with confrontation. And we've talked about this a little bit. My approach in the past, in my childhood, and even through college.
Like, so even in childhood, were you forcefully excused from the dinner table or from the room?
No, I'm talking about with
other kids or something.
Yeah, just in like confrontate. I mean, families have conflicts. I mean, that's like whatever. Like we all have our issues there. But I'm talking about in public, like with acquaintances, strangers, even friends, whatever. Like when you or superiors, your bosses, things like that. Like what happens when push comes to shove and you get in a confrontation. My response used to be very passive-aggressive. Oh, my goodness. And then, because I would make it very evident that I was not happy about something, and I'd be looking for an opportunity, it's like, well, what's going on with you? And that would be my cue to just be like, you're a horrible person, and I'm not happy right now. Yeah, it was...
I like passive-aggressive because it's so real. Slap in the face.
Oh, it was so immature. And I look back at myself, and it's like, I'm saddened by the fact that that's how I was. But when I would get it, when I would have that moment of, I told you about this, I wrote about it in the book, during the Iowa caucuses, when I yelled at my supervisor after I'd gotten left behind
oh, man.
for the campaign rally. The next day, like, no one said anything about it, like, and I was just literally giving everyone
Just
the
livid,
stink eye
yeah.
and the cold shoulder. And my boss came up to me, and he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You're an asshole!"
Yeah.
Like basically in more words than that, and in front of everyone. And in the moment, my voice is quivering and stuff like that because I can't really control my emotions at that point. It's sort of gotten out of control. Brings me is like let's go talk in the back.
Yeah.
It's like under any normal circumstances I would fire you, but this is a little like tell me what's going on, and I'm like I was really hurt.
Yeah,
This is so
I can't
and then I turn on
imagine-
the waterworks of I'm so remorseful for what
I
just
can't
did.
believe that you commuted 2.5 hours to get there, or it was
There and back a round trip.
and in that commute you walked like 2 miles in the snow.
Yeah. It was like a half an hour bus ride, and then half
And
an hour
nobody's
march.
there.
And then I get to the lot.
We just left early, so bye.
Yeah. So instances where I feel like I've been supremely wronged in one way or another.
Yeah.
Like I used to respond in a way like that. That was the last time I think that I ever snapped back at a supervisor.
I definitely had some anger when I was a kid. I had several outbursts. I would get so mad, and I can't remember what it would be over. I think it would be over trivial stuff, but when you're a kid, everything is a huge deal.
Yeah. Yes.
So I would be in my room, and I would take my bedroom door, and I'd be slamming it against the wall, just closing it as hard as I could against the wall, and it broke through the drywall, and I made a hole in the wall with the door.
Oh, really?
Another time, I was so angry. I think I was getting angry at like my homework or something. I'm sitting at the dining room table, and I took my pen and I just jammed it into the table and pulled it, and there was like this good 6-inch just deep thing in the wooden table.
Yeah, I that was one thing that yes, I was a destructive
I
little
feel
child.
really shitty about
but
that now.
My biggest regret, oh my goodness, something that really to this day hurts my heart. I always felt remorse after breaking or like hurting something, but I received a confirmation Bible and I got really mad.
Oh, no way.
And I threw it as hard as I could on the ground, and the binding ripped off.
Holy shit.
And my confirmation Bible was destroyed.
Oh, my
And I was like, immediately after I got it, I was like, no. And like, I just felt sadness, like wash over me. Like, I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted to convey my anger, but I didn't want to destroy. No. And so to this day, I still have the Bible.
Yeah.
It's still in the leather case. It's still patched together. Like
Yeah.
it's hanging by a thread. The binding is hanging on by a thread. I haven't really used it. It's a confirmation Bible, so it's a younger Bible. But every time I look at it, I think to myself, never again.
I can't recall any specific instances, but I do know there have been a handful of moments where my emotions just swung from one real far end of the pendulum onto a completely different side. You know, if you
Yeah.
can imagine a 3-dimensional pendulum of emotions swung from one to another in a heartbeat, where you just are, say, super angry and livid, and you do something, and then your heart just drops, and you're just like, oh shit, I did not mean for that to happen.
Yeah, where it just spirals out of control. Yeah. My mom says I have crazy eyes. I get crazy eyes when that happens. I and people close to me have said, yeah, something changes and you become a monster.
Yeah.
Like I become somebody who you cannot reason with. I think that's probably my biggest character flaw is I become like the Terminator.
Yeah.
And I just am out to destroy. Like, I mean, no, yeah, there's a lot of anger and like I'm going to win kind of thing.
Fueled by rage.
Like if I have been slighted in some way or another, like there are those moments where I will just shift.
Yeah.
And I'll shift back or whatever. But in those moments, I just feel the need to obliterate.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I've had that before, where you just need to eliminate everything in your path. You are going to win no matter what. Nothing will stand in your way.
Yeah, determination.
Yeah.
I like it. But I think part of that goes back to my childhood of like, I don't know about you. I used to dream about being a superhero. Like
No,
imagination or whatever. Did you ever have imagination growing up?
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything in specific all the time that
Like
I
my
would
brother and
dream
I
or
would play
pretend.
swords outside in the backyard all the time with sticks
Yeah.
and gouge each other's eyes out.
We would always hang out with the Dignan brothers, but I can't remember like if we ever imagined stuff like all the time. I can't recall.
Probably
We'd always
not.
be playing outside, but it was. Oh well, actually, in the winter sometimes we'd have like Star Wars guns, and we'd be like pretend we're on Hoth and be
Really?
battling each other. Yeah,
Really? Because I felt like the more popular crew or whatever was like imagination. Like
I was like a kid.
I know, but even then, it's hard. It's hard to do something that's kind of objectively like childish
Yeah,
and get everyone to participate in it and be equally enthusiastic about the venture.
I don't know. I think like when you're kids, like everyone likes being a kid, doing something outside.
Yeah, but I don't think imagination is to the extent I never watched TV. I was outside playing all day. Like I credit that
We
my
would
love
always
of outdoors today to that.
in the summer. We'd be like playing outside, and then we'd go inside and watch. We'd watch like Maury
Are you serious?
or Jerry Springer,
How
and then
old?
we'd go back outside.
Oh my god, Maury. That's
Anywhere
so
between the
funny.
ages of like 9 and 12.
At 9
you
years
know,
old, you were
9
watching
to,
Maury.
9 to 12.
Holy
yeah.
cow, that is
13
funny.
maybe. Yeah. We'd play outside, go inside, watch Maury or Jerry Springer, and then go back outside.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
We used to also, I don't know how old I was. I was maybe as old as 15 or something. I think we started this when I was like maybe 12 or 11. We had this game called Fireball. We would take a softball and we'd cover it in caulk and then light it on fire.
Are you
Caulk
kidding
is
me?
flammable,
Oh,
so we'd take a
goodness.
softball, light it on fire, and then we'd be standing maybe like 15 to 20 feet in front of this giant tree, and we would hit it as hard as we could with a golf club at the tree, and then because of the force, some of the caulk would come off the ball and be spiraling in the air.
Oh my God.
And so when we play fireball, we'd hit it as hard as we could at the tree, so you get to watch this ball of fire move, get hit towards the tree, and then there would be pieces of the caulk on fire, getting launched into the air.
That actually sounds kind of cool. I kind of want to see what that looks like now.
Yeah.
Huh.
We did a lot of weird shit. One time we like
We
smashed open a 9-volt battery to like see what was inside or something.
Really?
It was just like a bunch of I don't know, battery acid.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I the risks that we took back then.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What else? Oh, we had a lot of shenanigans. It's so long ago now that I can't remember a whole lot.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, always outside all day long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we live in such a beautiful area. I think a lot of people really took
Riding
advantage of-
bikes all the time.
Bike riding, dude.
Yeah.
That was a hobby that I have just riding for fun. Like because I don't really drive anymore.
Yeah.
I ride my bike everywhere I need to go, but I don't really ride for leisure anymore. There were
Right.
times where I would spend 5 or 6 hours just biking, 3 hours one way, 3 hours back, down the Great Western Prairie Path. Keep going as far as I could into the farmland of Illinois. It was really cool, and you just keep going. And
Yeah,
going and going.
but it's weird because I remember riding my bike as a kid. It was more not fun, but it was more like there's a certain level of nostalgia remembering riding your bike as a kid as opposed to like if you're an adult riding your bike around. Like it's not as I would ride my bike around all for fun, but it's not as fun as I remember when I was a kid.
No, and I mean, something just riding around for fun. I mean, you would ride it to get
You would
exercise
also
or
when you're a
whatever.
kid,
Those
you'd ride
ulterior
with,
motives.
you'd have your squad with you. You'd be riding in a gang of like
If you were
yourself and, like,
popular, I always rode by
no, it's
myself.
because you don't have anyone that lives at in your neighborhood. Did you have any kids in your neighborhood?
Brad Giovanni, that crew.
That crew. So how many people?
Had to have been half a dozen who lived within half a mile.
Okay, so half a dozen within a half mile. I had like 35 people within a quarter of within my like immediately in my neighborhood.
Yes.
Not even so.
Yes, and our house is kind of off to the side, so
Yeah.
that's understandable. But no, I never. I would always walk to school too, even though the bus would pick us up.
Oh really?
Like literally stopped right in front of our house, but I never took it.
I never took the bus except for I never took but I took the bus only in middle school.
Could you have taken it in high school?
Were you but I would have had to walk my ass on the opposite corner of my block. I have our block is big.
It is. It's like a city block.
Yeah, it's really long. It's like a rectangular block. It's weird. So the bus stop was over by the Spring Rec Center. So by the time I would walk there, I would already be halfway to Glenbard West.
Oh, really?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just my mom drove me to school in the mornings, and my mom or dad in high school.
I never understood those Glen Ellenites who lived just down the street but got parking passes when they became juniors or seniors. Oh, yeah.
That's weird. I never knew of anyone that had that.
Really? It was pretty big in the honors AP. Like there were people here and there
who would live like a 5-minute walk away and still drive.
Who
to
would
school.
live within walking distance and still would drive.
Well,
Nelly
in the
Rohde.
winter,
Nelly Rohde.
In the winter.
Yes, in the winter it was bad. Correct.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'd walk in the winter though. Like there's nothing wrong with walking in the winter.
For me it was just I couldn't wake up early. Like it was just not gonna happen.
Oh my god, dude!
Like every day of my life, waking up in high school was so agonizing.
It was agonizing,
and I'd only wake up 40 minutes before classes started. I'd wake up at like 7 a.m. Like the latest I could get out of bed is 7:15. Like I just it didn't work for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have early start school time. You have extracurriculars after school. So I mean, you're doing like a 10 to 12 hour day every single 5 days a week, and then on the weekends you've got events and other stuff. Like you are. I didn't know what freedom was like until college, like midway through college. I didn't know that free time was a thing.
Yeah.
Because every morning you just woke up in pain. At night, you went to bed absolutely, utterly exhausted, and then you wake up in pain the next morning to start the whole process over again. Yeah. That's just a cycle of pain.
Yeah.
Like
what time did you normally go to bed in high school?
In high school?
Yeah.
Around 10.
Yeah. I would go to bed at like 10:30, be exhausted still when I wake up at like 7.
Oh, I'd be up at like 6:30, yeah.
Waking up at 6:30, 6:45 was just not even going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'd get like 7, 8 hours of sleep, still be exhausted. And I remember talking to some people, and it's usually the kids that just would get shitty grades, be going to bed at like midnight or 1 a.m. Like, how do you do this? What are you talking about?
Oh, I know. I could never understand. I was friends with some of them. I'm like, how the hell are you functioning right now on 5.5, 6 hours of sleep every night? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. For sure. It'd be really weird. But yeah,
you need that sleep.
It hasn't been easy for me to be waking up until recently, like the last few years. It's like, okay, I can wake up early and feel well rested.
Yeah. I think I can be down to about 6.5 hours
of
sleep.
Dude, I sometimes am totally good after 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
5 hours is cutting way too
close.
A
few times. It's interesting. A few times I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be like, oh man, I feel ready to start the day. And it's like 1:30 in the morning and I will have slept for 4 hours. And I'm like, you know what? This almost feels like I should be like sleeping for 4 hours, wake up, do stuff, several hours later, go to bed for another 4, like have a weird sleep
Well,
cycle
you're
like
hitting that REM cycle. It's like, okay, well, you went through your deep sleep, you went through your light sleep. Now you're awake for a moment.
That would be really cool to experience a season where there's 24 hours of daylight.
That would be so disorienting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be so disoriented.
Or what would help is if there was, 20 hours of daylight.
Think about
I don't
all
know.
the stuff that you could get done.
You know what would be really great is just whenever it's convenient for you, there's sunlight out. Wake up at 2 in the morning. All right,
Ready Player
sun
One.
up.
The Oasis.
Yeah.
Head
or,
to the Oasis.
Like in Truman Show. You seen the Truman Show?
Yeah, I see the Truman Show.
You know?
Yep.
Like where they're looking for him at night and they just all of a sudden call the sun up and it's just daylight.
Yep.
That would be crazy.
That was a good show. Yeah. Have you continued to use the sleep cycle at all, or did you discontinue
I
that?
actually for the last couple of weeks I have not been using it because I find it now to be,
Unnecessary?
Yeah.
Were you able to like condition yourself to wake up easier, or has nothing really changed before you got it?
No, it's just that it's annoying because you have to have it plugged in, right? And where my bed is, I can't have it. I can't have it on like a nightstand. The plug is right underneath my bed that's along the wall, so I have to like do this thing where I prop up a pillow in between my bed and the wall and place my phone on top of the pillow facing down. It's just a hassle, so I don't use it.
Yeah, and that has been my main deterrent of using that. I still use the Fitbit, which is just every day I like looking at how good my sleep was the night before, and it's so damn accurate.
Yeah,
it's like, you know what? I woke up in the middle of a deep sleep. Like, no wonder I feel like shit. Like, it really explains my physical well-being for starting the day. I love it.
Well, lately too, when I had to wake up early, I have my alarm set, and I've usually been able to wake up, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes before my alarm. So then if I know I have to get up, I'll just get up. But I have the alarm as a backup.
I still struggle to get to sleep at a reasonable time.
Really?
I really do. Yeah.
Maybe you should run more.
I have been. I upped it to 3 times a week now. So.
That's good.
Yeah, I've done 4 times in the past week, which is great.
You should try doing. You should do change it up. So on let's just say for example, on a Monday, do sprints, conditioning. On a Wednesday, do a 6-mile run. On a Friday, do 2 or 3 miles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really necessary right now for me because I have my dog, so I do sprints and stuff with him. Like, I'm always chasing after him all over the place. So
that's completely different than conditioning, though.
Yeah, but what do I need to condition for sprints for? I run at a pretty damn high pace for 3.5 miles for a 5K basically.
Or 5K time. 3.2 miles. So what's your 5K time?
It's 27 minutes.
Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
You can always do better, though.
Of course. And which is why I push myself every time I go out, man.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I've gotten into a routine, and it helps relieve stress for me. It makes me feel good afterwards, and I don't really want to add anything else.
But do you feel like you've plateaued?
No. Okay. I believe that...
That's the only reason I was saying you should change it up.
No.
And
I think that's a really important point, too, is that there have been points where, it had to have been 2 years ago when my life was just falling apart and the only thing that was keeping me sane was running. And I had gotten up to a point where I was running about 10 to 12 miles
a week
in one sitting.
What?
6 mile down the Great Western, 6 miles one way. How
much time would this take you?
Hours. 2
hours?
Yeah. Like an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. But it kept getting better each time. I'm by the end, it was I was able to do 11 miles, and I was good. I'm tired afterwards, but I feel good.
That's good. And
that was kind of a plateau for me, kind of.
Got it.
Because, but right now, I'm still... There's always work to catch up on when it comes to especially at this age, 30 years old now. You're not... It's going to be hard to hit that plateau. You're always going to be trying to build back up to the plateau.
Yeah.
Because any time you take off is twice as long of the amount of time you spend working to get there.
Yeah.
So I had a period of when we had that cold spell and snow and stuff and bad weather for a week and a half I didn't run. And it was pretty obvious getting back in that I had some work to do. But it took 3 times to get back to where it was. So it's just a matter of like you've said in the past, getting in there, getting intense, like getting it done, and moving on.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
don't dilly dally. Don't
dilly dally.
Don't waste time. So many people waste time. But
I agree. We'll have to hit up Glenbard West track or go around Lake Ellen like old times now that the weather's getting better.
yeah, we
Throw
should
some
we
rocks
should, we
in
should
our
try
costume bags.
I can't believe I did that. Oh my god,
So crazy.
trying to be a tough
so
ass.
hot outside that day. Just you collapsed. Boom.
Yeah,
That was
I
what
wasn't,
the
I
first.
wasn't going any
That was
further.
like I don't know what lap that was, but only time would tell.
It was like one lap.